So, if you are serious about growing your production and building a business that doesn't stop when you do, then these weekly mastermind drops are going to be for you. I'm going to pull back the curtain on exactly what's working right now for top agents across the country. So, let's get to work.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome.
Great morning.
Turn on your cameras.
Hey, good morning.
Hello, Jim. How are you,
Jeff.
sir?
Good morning,
Good morning, brother.
everybody.
Good to see you. Boss Moves in the house, winning all kinds of awards out there where she's working.
All
I
kinds.
saw your post. She's going to that. Zach. Man, Zach, it's good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. How you been?
Good morning, Jeff. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Jeff, Will, everybody. Jim's got his dog. Turn on your cameras if you can, guys. They'll keep coming on in here, but this is going to be a good day. So we're already recording. So let's go ahead and get started. There's a couple things, guys. First of all, welcome. If you are a guest with us, great to have you with us. You're welcome every week. We're here every Tuesday. We've been doing this for a long, long time. I am going to share my screen here real quick because if you are not a part of this yet, take a screenshot of this right here. Should have had that ready. I apologize. I did have it ready. There it is. Don't take a screenshot. Get out your phones and do a quick thing on that QR code. That's going to take you to our Facebook group. Guys, we're really ramping that up. It's going to, workplace is no longer. So this is just going to be a place for us we're going to do recognition. We're going to post all these trainings in there, all the trainings for the coming week, the coming month. Like that's going to be kind of the hub for it. So we got a couple hundred people that are part of that right now. We want to get all the Freedom Team in there. So anyway, take a screenshot of that. I'll put that in the chat as well, just so everybody has it. But we're really pushing everybody in that direction, just as a place for us to communicate with each other. So anyway, be sure to do that. But guys, it's great to have you with us as always. Kathy, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce Brad. Brad, we appreciate you being here. We know you got plenty to do without coming and joining us. So thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. So Kathy, why don't you introduce Brad real quick?
Yes. All right, Brad. Well, again, thanks for being with us today. So, guys, Brad has done so much in the real estate space. So, first and foremost, he's got a huge bio. I'm just going to pick out 3 or 4 things because, we'll take the whole hour if I read you guys his amazing bio he's got. But so Brad has sold over 100 homes a year for the last 20 years. So 20 years in a row, he has sold over 100 homes. So you guys are going to be listening up today, I hope, and taking massive notes. So he and his team has been featured 2 different times on the HGTV's What's My House Worth. He's the co-author of, you guys who else read The E-Myth here? Raise their hand. The book, The E-Myth. So Brad co-authored The E-Myth for real estate agents. So if you know how powerful the E-Myth book is, that's probably one of my favorite books. And I just learned when I was watching your training, Brad, that there was even one for the real estate agent. So I'm excited to get that and to read that. So so he's also in the top 5 consistently in his office out of 1,000 agents. So his bio goes on and on. He's an international speaker. He speaks all over the world, I guess. And so anyway, there's a lot I can say about Brad, but Brad, again, we're just so excited that you're here and thank you for spending your time with us. I know you've got a lot of other things you can certainly be working on, so we appreciate you.
Oh, I'm honored to be here because you guys have a huge organization. So the fact that you would reach out to me and ask me to come share this is an honor in itself. And I got to preface, I love like all that stuff that you hear. Look at yourself sitting in your chair. Honestly, guys, that is me. I am just you. There's like no golden spoon. I didn't buy some program that produces 100 sales a year. I just created a system for systematizing my follow-up. So I guess the best place I can start is just to kind of, again, you're supposed to like give all this on your background and all this other stuff, but you guys want some meat and potatoes here. So I'm just going to tell you that I have been in real estate for 34 years. My first year in real estate, First full year in real estate, I sold one house. And you guys came to this class to learn something from me? Really? They didn't teach me anything I needed to know in real estate. So I just started going to conferences. I was a conference junkie, lots of notes. But again, those first 3-4 years, I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't implementing anything. And then I picked up the E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and I read that probably a dozen times. I just kept reading it and reading it because it was such a simple story. And if you've read it, and I do feel unfortunate for the younger realtors and business owners, because Michael was the big deal. Like, this is the book that started 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I mean, some of the most major companies in the country read the E-Myth, systematized their business. And 1-800-GOT-JUNK's a perfect example. He literally gives 100% credit to starting out as a guy in a pickup truck that was picking up trash for people. And now he has one of the nation's, I forget how many billions of dollars he has, but you can go on and on and on with that. So Gerber's now 89, and back in 2015, so I've been in real estate for 35 years. In 2015, I had sold 100 homes a year for over 20 years. It was just kind of like a machine. January 1st every year. If you guys ever feel like every month you're out of business, January 1st every year, I knew I was going to sell 100 homes that year. It just was expected. So 2015, I'm going to share some other scary stuff with you here. The biggest my team has ever been was 9 people on my team, with 4 buyers agents, 2 admin people. My wife of 20 years was running all the behind the scenes, and I was chaos creator. I just went out and created chaos and brought in all the papers piling up, and they just had to keep up. But that's why we needed the systems. And I'll kind of start by saying, I'm going to share with you guys in a minute that you have 100 sales a year that are happening right now that's like apples falling off the tree sales. They are happening and you are missing them. I'm going to show you where they are, but that you can't sell 100 homes a year doing it the way you're doing it now. Because if you can think back, the busiest month you've ever had might have been 2 sales, 3 sales, 4 sales, maybe 5 sales. And you were ripping your hair out, running around like a chicken with your hair on fire. You can't do 100 sales unless you systematize it. So, and I haven't lost the personal touch. That's the piece I left in. So I'm going to go back. My wife was going to pick up one of our clients for a closing. I'm in Kansas City, and we're right on the Missouri, Kansas, like Kansas City's like on both sides of the state. It's right on the state line. So half of it's in Kansas, half of it's in Missouri. So we get licensed in both. Well, she had to drive over to the Kansas side to pick up an elderly client to bring her back to the Missouri side because she didn't have any family here, and we had closed her property, and she got in an accident. Got in an accident by the Royals and the Chiefs stadium, which, go Chiefs. I'm sorry if you don't like the Chiefs and Mahomes. He's tearing your teams up, man. He is tearing them up. I just can't leave that out. Anyway, but it's right by the stadium. We got this one exit ramp that's just horrible there. The guardrails are always trashed. And she got clipped or something, spun around, had a head-on collision. And I was in Louisiana speaking at a real estate conference. So I got the call to come back home and fly home. So she survived the accident, and about, what was it, like 12-week recovery. It was a hip surgery that she had because the dash pushed her femur back through her hip socket, shattered her hip socket. So she's 43 at this time, 42, about to turn 43. And so she survived the accident. After 12 weeks, she gets off the crutches. And then 2 weeks after that, back to normal, starting to kind of plug her back into things. Just got her back behind the wheel of a car about a week after she got off crutches. Kind of plugged her back into the team because she ran the team, right? And the people like working for her. If you're a chaos creator, I don't think people like working for us, especially when they work with me and it's like, did you feed the database today? Did you feed the database today? Did you feed the database today? Because I feed the database every day, and I'm talking with personal connections. I'll break that down for you in a sec. But so they loved working with her. So about 2 weeks after she gets off crutches, she's just sleeping. She had trouble sleeping with some of the surgeries, and she had a nose surgery and had insomnia. So it was June 23rd, the day before her birthday, she was in bed about 10 o'clock in the morning. I had been watching her. Like, I get up at 6 and go do my systems, all my behind the scenes stuff, the monotonous, boring stuff I do every single day. In fact, if you got, how many of you were at EXPCon? Did you get to go to EXPCon? So I don't know if you bumped into Tony Rodriguez out of New Jersey. Him and I bunked up for the conference, and he comes out the first morning because I got in at like 2:30 in the morning. There was another Chiefs game that Sunday that I flew in, so I had to go from the game to the airport. It was crazy. I got in about 2:30, and he comes out the next morning. He goes, "You're doing letters? You brought your letters with you?" I'm like, dude, this is the machine. If I skip it, I am out of business, right? This is how I do 100 sales a year. So I'm going to get into that in 2 seconds. So anyway, she doesn't wake up. And my daughter comes down. So we call 911 and they take her to the hospital. And we get there. And I'm like, so is everything okay? So she's breathing. She won't respond. She's snoring like a trucker. So I know she's like getting air and all that other stuff and really concerned, but not really concerned because nothing bad had ever happened to me at this point, right? I mean, bad stuff happens, but not bad. I was literally going to write the book. Hey, you don't have to have something really bad happen to you to write a book. And then it took that to write a book. So what happened is they lost her a couple times on the way to the hospital for about 4 minutes each time. And that lack of oxygen to your brain basically put her brain into seizure mode. So they had to put her into a coma. Well, that turned into 5 months. She was in a coma for 5 months. I took her to Lincoln, Nebraska, about 3 hours away, because I had learned from all my peers, always find the best, always find the best. You guys want to be a database master? You want to really turn your referral machine on and your come list me's on? I'm your database master. So find me, track me down. However, I'll share it with you. So I asked the doctors, where would you take your wife? Where would you take your wife? And they said Madonna and Lincoln. So anyway, we spent 5 months working on her. And it literally was, lots of ups and downs, and thought we were maybe getting through. And I knew she was strong enough to fight through it if she could. And then I realized after 5 months, she really had not done one thing twice. She had never duplicated anything. So it was really just the body surviving, and she was a vegetable. And now the hardest part was really happening because she's not on life support. I mean, her and I had been working out. We were the fittest we've ever been in our lives. She was strong as a horse, so her body was solid, but she was in a coma and she was not there. Wouldn't respond, wouldn't do anything. It was just the body stuff. So anyway, I had to make that decision to say and talk to my girls. We had 4 daughters. And they basically helped me make the decision that she wouldn't want to live like this. And we had to let her go. So that was 2015. So that was June to November 4th was the day we had to let her go. And when I looked back in January or February, I think it was, I was sitting at my desk and I looked up at my bookshelf and I saw the E-Myth sitting there. And I was like, we had sold 97 homes in 2015 with me gone for 5 months of the year. You know how you're striving to have a business that doesn't require you to be there? Or if you left your business today for 5 months, what would you have left when you got back? Well, luckily for 20 years prior to that, I was doing the E-Myth and I had my business systematized and I could just count on it. Now I said I had 9 team members. At the time that accident happened, we had 2. We had 1 assistant, and a girl had just rejoined our team to go show houses, and me, because Sonia's not there anymore. I'm the listing guy. She's the showing guy. My assistant is the one that's just running the dashboard every day and doing all the things that need to be done. 3 people, 97 sales, and I wasn't there for 5 months. I did come back 1 day a week and do all the listing appointments. So business continued as usual. But what I've done is I brought the personal touch back in and flipped it to where the phone rings. So let me just fast forward a little bit. When I realized it was Gerber, I just Googled him on the internet and there's some phone numbers on there. So I left some messages. Mr. Gerber, you don't know me from Adam. I'm just a kid in Kansas City. I read your book 20 years ago. I applied the E-Myth and I sold 97 homes while my wife was in a coma. He called me back the next day. He has a very unique voice. I don't know if you've ever heard him talk, Kathy, or any of his videos, but you guys can find him all over the place. He has a very unique voice. So I knew I was talking to the Michael Gerber, and this was before AI. So it wasn't AI Gerber, like AI Tony Robbins calls me all the time. But it was Gerber, and he said, "Hey, you want to write E-Myth Real Estate Agent?" And I hadn't written really a book before. So he was able to pull everything that I had done out of the book. So here's what the book is going to be about. Gerber talks about one topic, and then I write the real estate version of it. Then he talks about the next topic that he talked about in the E-Myth, and I give you the real estate version of it. So I kind of show you how to apply the E-Myth to your business. Probably best to read the E-Myth first and then read the E-Myth Real Estate Agent after that. And if you want a personal copy or something, just call. You guys can find me, Korn, Korn, Brad Korn, Kansas City. You'll find me. Just reach out to me, man. I actually answer my phone. Like, I'm just a guy that's working every day, but I'm not working hard, right? Because the systems are running everything, and I can go to Monday Night Football. I can go to a Sunday game and leave and go to Miami for 3 days and sell houses while I'm gone. And right now, guys, I have 2 people on my team. I'm one. I'm the boots on the ground, and I have a part-time assistant. And I'm able to sell last month I had 14 sales. So that just kind of tells you that 6, 8, 10 sales a month is my norm, but I do them like it's 1 or 2 sales a month. So here's how I do it. I'm going to walk through just kind of really today. What I just hope to impress on you is how to start this, because you guys can Google Brad Korn 100 sales and you'll find the Level Up webinar where I actually walk through the book and all the processes and why you do things this way. But today I wasn't sure how much time I really had for stage time to just impress on you guys how to start this. So Kathy, how much time do you have allotted for me?
We go till 11 o'clock, so you can go, till
Perfect.
maybe 45 or 50 and open questions, or if you want to go the whole time, that's good too.
Great. So that's the part I want to start right here. As I get into the meat now, guys, this is interactive, right? We're having a conversation because you can go watch the webinar and get the detailed things and take notes. Not that you don't want to take notes now, because one of the things I want you to hear that I said is I read the E-Myth book 12 times. So here's what I'm going to tell you what I've learned in real estate and how to turn things like this into action and actually take some action and start moving forward with it. And that is repetition, repetition, repetition. The more you go to the one class over and over and over again, the better chance that you're going to actually start implementing that. I'm just going to take a little sidebar real quick. So this happened in 1991 when I got into real estate. They had this, it was like a listing mastery class. And back then we had to pay like $800, or maybe it was $300 back then or something. And there was like 8 or 9 classes. Oh, I should probably put my stuff on mute. There was 8 or 9 classes. And if you missed more than 2 of them, they kicked you out and they kept your money. And back then I didn't have any money. So I didn't sell. I only sold 1 house in my first year. So, but once you paid, you could go to it as many times as you wanted. I went to that class 8 or 9 times. I actually started selling in Minneapolis. I went to that class 8 or 9 times because it was how to get listings. And we all know listings drive your business. So I went so much that the instructor would joke every single week after about the 3rd or 4th week. He's like, hey, if there's a snowstorm and you guys want to come in, I'm sure Brad will show up and he can probably teach my session. And that's how I become a listing master. So when I saw the E-Myth and I read it and it was so simple to understand, I just read it 12 times so it would start showing up in my life. So that's how I do it, is repetition. And so I read that book 12 times. I started applying it to my business. Here's what I'm going to tell you about where the 100 sales are first. Every one of you hearing my voice right now, and everyone else in your group that's not here on this call, tell them what they missed, because this is about us surviving as agents, right? This is about us making it through the market. If you happen to be somebody that hasn't started your rev share line yet, or maybe you just got 1 agent or 2 agents and it just kind of happened by accident, understand that when you go help other agents and share this message in your marketplace, you will attract them without recruiting, because they're going to see you double your business and triple your business. And they go, what are you doing? And it's like, oh my gosh, you got to come over here. Freedom Team, I got to share this with you, right? Because that's what it's about, is us surviving. So what I'm most excited about being here, I was at KW for 20 years. I've been through probably every role there is there. Clear up to Gary Keller on my cell phone. I had to call him when I was leaving to let him know, I just felt like that was a courtesy. But I'm not like the guy I'm not Gary's best, top agent in the company. I sell 100 homes a year. You won't really know it because my volume is probably 10 million or less. I mean, if I hit 12 million in sales, my price point is so low. I never really get credit for transactions. And you know what? Volume doesn't mean anything. I mean, it does mean something, but when you can sell 100 homes and you have a high volume, everybody can sell 100 homes a year. So here's why I can tell you that. And you guys can post this in the chat. This is where I kind of want to wake you up a little bit and get you kind of participating. If I were to ask you, how often does the average person move? Let's just kind of see what throws into the chat. How often does the average person move? What's the number you've heard? Either from NAR or your local board, any of that kind of stuff. Let's see if I'm seeing the chats here. Oh yeah, I got to scroll down here. Yeah, 6 years, 7 years, 5 years, 5 years, 7 years. Is there anybody on this call that thinks they've been staying your market? They are staying in their house on average, the whole average population, longer than 10 or 20 years. Is there anybody that believes that? Everybody's staying in their house 20 years. It's not true, right? So how real are these numbers? Are they real? I mean, do you really, let's just say worst case scenario, you guys all said 5 to 7. Let's just say it's 10 for simplicity's sake, like they actually stay in their houses longer. And I'll tell you, I know for a fact that did happen in one market where they actually were starting to stay in their house for 10 to 20 years, right? So if that's true, and if you believe that, if you know 1,000 people in your marketplace, actually, let me back up. Type in the numbers real quick again. I really want to get you guys active here because I want you to believe that. I don't want to convince you. I want you to see where there is 100 sales happening, and I want it to hurt because it's real simple to grab them, to start grabbing them. How many people, if you go to Facebook right now and open your tab and go to your friends list, just type in the number of how many friends you have on Facebook. And I realize not everybody probably uses Facebook, but you might want to if you're a realtor. That's the community to hang out in. But just type in how many friends you have. See how many you guys have there. I see 5,000. Oh, yeah, you guys are good. 5,900, 4,000. Now I want you to open up your contacts on your cell phone. And like the little guy, the little contact record where you can see all your contacts. I know on iPhone, if you swipe right, it will show you the total number of contacts. Tell me how many contacts you have in your cell phone. And then I want to show you what these numbers mean. So I see 8,000 from Jeff, 3,600 from Tracy. You guys got big numbers. You know, when I teach this around the country, it might be like 800. It's usually a lot of newer agents. So you guys are definitely producers. 800 here, 900 there, 700 or whatever. You guys are all pretty well over 1,000 to 2,000. So here's what we're going to say. If you got at least 1,000 people in Facebook and you got 1,000 people in your cell phone, that's 2,000 people. Everybody here's got more than 1,000, it looks like. Let's just go with those 1,000. If what you just told me is true, and we're going to go with a longer number and a not real number and say they move every 10 years for simple math, what is 1,000 people divided by 10 years? It's 100 people. So this is where it gets sick. Because if you have 2,000 people, I am telling you right now, you have more than 200 people. Wait, who are your friends? According to Facebook, they're on your friends list, right? or they're in your cell phone. They have called your cell phone number, or you have called them. These are people you already know. And why are we racing around to find internet leads and talk to strangers all day long? It's the fault of the industry, because when I got in, they taught us to go get the next deal, get the next deal, get the next deal, get the next deal. Call 100 people and you get 1 or 2 appointments. For every 100 people you call in a clump like that, guys, 100 of them are moving in the next 10 years. But we don't stay in touch with the same 100. I don't know how I figured it out. And I don't know why everybody else hasn't figured this out, because it is so stinking simple. Every person that you come in contact from this day forward, if you will capture them, knowing that 99 of them are not moving today, but knowing that 99 of them will move in the next 10 years, or that 50 of them will move in the next 5 years, or that 10 of them will move in the next year, right? You getting it? You have 100 sales sitting in front of you right now. Here's the challenge, though. You're not top of mind yet, because we keep doing everything in bulk emails, bulk videos, bulk. If you will take those 1,000 people, actually, this is so simple, nobody does it. Go buy a spiral notebook at Walmart for 50 cents, right? Could probably got them at home or Office Depot with school getting over for $0.25, a spiral notebook. And if you will open up your Facebook friends list. Now on Facebook, you got to scroll all the way to the bottom. If you have 5,000, it's going to take you 15 minutes to do this. You got to get scrolled all the way to the bottom so everybody's names are populated. Because in Facebook, every time I come in, it jumbles everybody up. So you got to get your entire list off of Facebook and get those names in the notebook. Don't worry about phone number. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about their email. You guys won't need email to create these connections. I'm going to give you a simple plan. It's 4 steps to reconnect with everybody. Write every name in the notebook and do not get distracted from that. Just capture the name. Because once you have the name and you get all your names from every list you have of anybody that's ever come in contact with you in that notebook, now I can start going through the notebook and finding the phone number and the email. And it might be right where I pulled their name from. Just don't get distracted. Get every name captured first. And so let me also see a show of hands. How many of you are getting out of real estate this year? This is your last year in real estate. You have to call me separate if you want to do that, because we got to put you on the fast track here and you're going to be busy. How many of you are getting out? How many of you might be in real estate longer than 5 years? Raise your hand, right? And keep it up. If you think you could possibly still be in real estate in 10 years, right? Okay, so let's back up to the 5 years. If you have this master, I call it master list, and I write in black marker on the front of it, master list. Every person I come in contact with, their name goes in there, because throughout the day, there's distractions. And at the end of the day, I can go back in there and see who I met today, that now I need to find their phone number and their address and really connect with them, right? So I might have connected with them today. And again, I'm going to share in the 4 simple steps how to reconnect with them and how to become top of mind. But I need to remember that I saw them today. Now we're out there looking for the next deal, but everybody I meet is moving. So they are all my next deal over the next 5 years. Let's just say you go through that notebook. If you got your lead gen time, take the first half hour or whatever and just find the missing information. Just open your notebook up, start on whichever page is missing information. Use Google. There's a great site called fastpeoplesearch.com. It's free, right? You got Facebook. They tell you where they live. Fastpeoplesearch.com, I can put in their name and where they live, and it usually finds all their past addresses and their past emails and their past phone numbers. You can open up your phone and type their name in. Most of the time, they're going to be in there somewhere, right? So you're going to be able to grab this information. And best of all, the address is the most important thing. The phone call or the phone number is the next most important thing. The thing about databases that I've realized over the years in coaching people is that what is it? Yes, Fast People Search is free. What is it that we sell? What do we sell people? Like what's the thing they live in? A house, right? A house has an address. Do you know that 95% 96% of all real estate agents have less than 20% of their database with addresses, but we sell real estate. Gerber made me aware of this. He's like, is your industry just like stupid? You guys sell houses and you don't have addresses in your database? And I'm just like, I know it should. And he goes, why don't you have a database of addresses? And then you just put the people that are inhabiting that house in that slot, and they come off of that contact and go to another contact to the next house that you have. We should have a database of addresses. You're going to understand why here in a sec. So you take your, and I'll kind of pause out here before I give you the 4 steps just to see if there's any questions, right? So from your master list, if a little bit of time every day, I just fill in as many addresses and phone numbers. You haven't heard me say email much, right? You don't need email yet. You don't need email yet. If you come across it, you can put it down, but I would almost stay away from it because you can't sell 100 homes a year doing it the way you're doing it now. And most of you have a whole list of email addresses. You may or may not have phone numbers. You may or may not have addresses. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Tax records. We have access to tax records. 70% of those people own a home. You're going to find them in the tax record to get their address, right? And these are people that are in your cell phone and on your Facebook friends list. Again, this is why you're going to sell 100 homes a year once you become top of mind with the people who already know you. And you might have to get them to like you again. And you might have to remind them that they know you and that you know them to be top of mind. But that's what we're going to work through. So work in the notebook, right? Now, all I want to do is open that notebook every day. And I want anybody that I have a phone number and an address for, just dial the number. Wait, you don't need to know any real estate scripts for this. These first 2 steps are the only time you're going to hear me say, I don't want you to talk about real estate. I don't want you to send your branded item in the mail. Because what you have to do, if you've used any scripts at all, scripts are very important. And call days are very important because you're trying to get a surge of a new listing or a new buyer. So you got to use scripts to get to that, right? But if you do this on top of that, like layered underneath, just call and reconnect. Your calls are coming out of left field. You haven't how many people here's a good one. Type in the number of how many people contacts you have in your database. If you have 1,000, 2,000, you guys probably have 3,000 to 5,000 people in your database or more. Write that number down. Know what it is. Divide that by 10, and that's how many deals are happening in your database every year, right? But here's the bigger question. When you're looking at that list, how many of those people have you physically two-way had a conversation with in the last 30 days? That's a sick question. And I'm sorry if you got a stomachache after this, right? So if you've got 2,000 people, how many of those 2,000 people in your database have heard your voice and you talked to them in the last 30 days? It's a sick number, probably not much of any. So what you're going to do is just get on purpose about checking your master list, see if they're in your database. If they are, you're going to match up the numbers and the address and stuff you found. You're going to pick up the phone and call them. And I'm going to give you permission to dial every one of those numbers because you're not talking about real estate. All you're going to do is connect. Guys, I've done this. This is how I've done 100 sales a year. Every day I add new people to my database, and you'll never stop meeting people. So this never ends. I'm going to show you something fun on that too. So once you call, I give myself permission to, first of all, any real estate script is coming out of left field. Hey, are you thinking about buying or selling? Hey, it's Brad. I'm just checking in. Hey, how are you? Great. Hey, you know anybody thinking about buying or selling? What do they say? 99.9% of the time. Don't know anybody right now. Okay. Do you know anybody else that's moving? No. Okay. Well, if you think of somebody or you hear of somebody, will you call me and let me know? Anybody used this script before or something very similar? It gets no business, right? Now, I even started sending a note behind. I started saying, well, I tell you what, will you at least just keep me top of mind for the next week? If you hear anybody say the word real estate, jot down their name and send it to me. Yeah, sure. These are people you know. So they'll, yeah, sure, we'll do that. And then I dropped them a note in the mail that they would get 3 days later. And it said, thanks for agreeing to listen for people talking about real estate. I guarantee you 3 days later, they weren't thinking about people talking about real estate. They already forgot our call happened. But then that note says, I'll call you on Friday and see if you've met anybody that talked about real estate. Now they've got that. They said they would help, and there's a little bit of commitment on their part because they said they would help. What it's going to get you is probably a 15 to 20% better response. It's not necessarily leads. It's more like, well, my neighbor's been really manicuring his lawn lately, right? You guys okay with this conversation style? Are you grabbing some stuff out of this? Okay, cool. So that's how I'm making connections. That was one trick that I did. It didn't really get me, it got me way more referrals, but I had to work for them a little bit more, which is what we do, right? But going back to your master list, if all you do is call and just connect, and here's the script, there isn't one. Hey, it's Brad. I was thinking of you. It's been a while since we talked. I apologize. In fact, some of your calls might even go like this. I was on Facebook and I came across, something you posted and I can't remember where the heck we met. Where'd we meet at? And they're like, oh man, I don't know. And pretty soon you'll be like, oh, it was church. It was that church event. Yeah, okay, right. Here's what you don't want to do. When you call them and you're having these different conversations, however they go, when they say, oh, well, how you guys doing? Man, you're going to immediately want to go into, oh man, real estate's great. Or, we're looking for inventory or whatever. Here's your script. You know what? I appreciate you asking, and it's going well. I'm always available for you or anyone you refer. But today's call was really about you. I saw your name. It made me think of you, and I realized I hadn't talked to you in a while. So I just wanted to catch up. The more they talk, the less you talk is going to give you the connection. Now, here's where you're going to anchor the connection. I want you to do this with 5 people a day. So if you're calling through your master list, if you call 20 numbers and only 5, 10 will probably answer, 5 will be really short with you on the phone, 5 people will be nice and stay on the phone. Those are your 5 for today. You're going to check your database, update your information, and then I start a little action plan or campaign is all this is that reminds me to do stuff. But I'm going to give you 4 steps because it's really simple. So once I connect with them, the very next thing I do, take some kind of blank inside note card. It doesn't even have to be a branded note card. And it's going to be, Jim, great catching up with you on the phone. So glad to hear the kids are doing well. So glad to hear work as well. Congratulations on your daughter getting married. Whatever came out of that conversation, real quick, short, handwritten, like with a real pen, not that computer that goes, that's not a handwritten note, by the way. This is a handwritten note to follow up your personal connection phone call, and you're going to drop that in the mail. And they're going to have it 3 days after they hung up the phone with you, just about the time they're going to forget you called because life is busy and you didn't talk about real estate, right? Here's the magic. That handwritten note will feel good. And so was the conversation. And there's a limbic part of the brain. Let's get a little more detail, but there's a limbic part of the brain, the defense mechanism. Anybody go to Renee Rodriguez's session at Miami EXPCon? This is who I learned it from. And there's ways that we process through the brain, and it's very hard to get past the limbic part of the brain. It's the defense mechanism. When your phone rings and you answer and they're like, oh, hi, Brad, did I catch you at a good time? Man, that limbic part of the brain is already shut down. And I coach loan officers too. And they would say, hey, just wanted to call you, interest rates drop, defense mechanism, right? But if I called and I said, hey, I'm giving away $5,000, it's like it wants to close, but it's like, what do you mean? If this is a loan officer that I know, right? Or I've talked to, hey, I'm giving away $5,000 or $1,000. Remember, if you've been in a while, they actually gave an $8,000 credit to buyers when they bought a house, right? So the script was, hey, I'm calling you today because I've got $8,000 to give to any buyers that are buying a house right now. And I know you sell real estate. Is that right? Yeah. And it's like, no, this is real. And I'm going to get that conversation open. But that's using scripts, right? That's still going to be a tougher call than if you just call, connect, drop them a handwritten note. You have made it past the limbic part of the brain. And what that allows you to do is now they can receive what they get from you, process it, and listen to what you're saying because they got a good feel vibe behind it. It wasn't branded stuff that your business card didn't fall out of the note card when you sent it to them. Because here's the honest truth, guys. I already told you, out of every 100 people that you do this with, 99 of them are not moving right now. Let me break that down because I didn't break it down. We said 100 people, 10 people are moving this year. There's 12 months in the year. So take those 100 people, divide by 12, and it's less than one person is moving every single month. So every time I talk to 100 people right now today, only one of them or not. Now, if I called them again next month, then I got one person at least that is thinking about moving. Now, what I need to do is stay in touch with all 100 every month for the next 12 months, and I'll get one this month, I'll get one next month, I'll get one next month, because those other 9 people don't know they're moving yet. In fact, the next one moving doesn't know they're moving until next month. And the third one doesn't know they're moving till the following month. So it's about follow up in a very consistent, persistent way. That was what I figured out. So I do stay in touch with people very well. And most of it's automated, but there's a lot of phone calls buried into my plans and all that stuff. All right, so let me pause out here because I know I've given you guys a lot of information, and I just want to open it up, and I'll give you the 4 steps after we answer any questions. But what seems difficult here? Because every time I share this, people really have roadblocks to this, and just to call 5 people a day and write 5 notes a day. So bring up your roadblocks, unmic, jump in. Anybody see this being difficult, or can you all start doing this today?
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
Hey, so I don't know, this might be some of the roadblocks that others have. So
it will be.
I have a monthly newsletter that goes out to my clients. I kind of do the Buffini. I pop by for Christmas. I try to make sure that I call them at least by September, October, so I kind of know what things have been going on. And I'll send out, let's say, periodic market reports. Not consistent all at the same time, but let's say there's 2 extra that go out. Like all past clients get anniversary gifts that I send them every year. And I feel like I'm pretty connected with them, but not to this level. If it would be kind of weird if, let's say, the person that sold me the car that I bought would call me every month and go, "Hey, I'm just calling to say hi."
Yeah, so you only make that call one time. That's a great question. Remember, you only make that call one time, right? So what if that call went like this? Hey, Mike, you bought that car from me. So it might be a little weird with me calling you out of the blue, but we kind of slammed you through that deal pretty quick because you don't like hanging around those dealerships, right? So you slammed you through that deal pretty quick. I just want to make sure we knew each other. We live in the same community, and I really didn't get to know that much about you, but I'm sure your business grows from referrals, right? So yeah, just wanted to call and just reconnect a little more. How'd you like the car? What do you do for a living? Blah, 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 right? So they go, all right, cool. So thanks for taking the call. It was great getting to know you a little better. And again, depending on how well you connected with the person, if you got their phone number and their address and you connected well, and it's right away, you can get away with this, right? So that I just imagine that's how the call would go. And I'd be like, oh yeah, cool. Now, if I get a note from him that actually said, "Hey, Mike, it was great talking to you on the phone. Thanks for taking the call. It's great to learn a little bit more about you. Just look forward to hopefully crossing paths again in the future." Is there anybody on the call that, okay, this guy's going in my database. He's going to buy a house someday, right? You're just going to, now he can send me stuff like, "Hey, did you see the update?" Or, "Did you try this feature out?" How many things in your car are you 6 months later, you're finding things it does? You're like, what the heck? So if I were that guy, I'd have a drip plan of just the different things to do on the car, maintenance tips. But it's not only just that. It's like, what's the value of my car doing today? Or it could be other stuff too. Like I have chicken soup from the soul stories in my drip plan. About a quarter of it is real estate, and a quarter of it is personal, and a quarter of it is local stuff, and a quarter of it is just funny stuff. Because 99% of the people that are getting my stuff aren't moving today. Does that make sense? So we don't have to talk about real estate all the time, but your mind is going to want to slip back to trying to get real estate, right? That's just the way we're trained. Go ahead.
So do you have a regular mailer type of campaign or newsletter along with electronic like MailChimp or something like that that works together?
Yeah, let me add on that too. So if it's anything in a bulk format, so Buffini's kind of bulk, right? If it's anything in a bulk format, I'm not relying on it that much, because here's why. Buffini's box is 99 pieces for like 99 bucks or something like that, right? You get like 100 drip pieces or whatever. So like the stuff that actually goes in the mail, how many people do you have in your database?
I
How many?
think there's that I mail out to is
No,
about
actually, total like you have captured name, number. They're in your database.
about 2,500.
2,500.
Yeah.
So you probably mail out, I would guess, about 200 pieces are what your mailing list names you would have gave me, right?
About 550 go out monthly.
Okay. So guys, listen to that. There's 2,500 people. So he's got 250 people at least moving. I'm saying not to him, but all of you right now. There are, unless you can show me that they are not moving every 10 years, 250 people are moving every year. And what I find most agents, so because you're Buffini, you're double the number that I said, because people will naturally keep in touch with about 10% of their database. And if you're really, really good at follow-up, you'll keep in touch with about 20% of your database, which is right where you are. Now, this is 25 years of coaching as well. So in my real estate business, as I got successful, people started asking me to come speak and teach and coach. Well, I didn't take that lightly. So I started understanding why things were happening and how to evaluate things and I track the crud out of everything. So that's why I know the numbers, because the coaching side of it, even though that I still run my business. I mean, I still sell 100 homes a year, and I'm one guy right now, right? Between 70 to 100. And we had 5 years ago, I turned my business over and they didn't run my plans, didn't run my systems. They let everything stop, and my business over the next 2 years went down to about 30 sales. It has taken me 5 years to get it back up by going through name by name, reconnecting, get them back on the plan. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, I look at my closings like, God, I got 8 closings this month, got 10 next month, got 14 the next month. And it was just turning the plans back on. But I had to I had lost top of mind even after years and years and years. So most people are keeping in touch with 10 to 20% of their database. So here's what I'm saying is you can keep that, right? And that's just going to be your touch that goes out. You've got that brain cell. But if you took those 2,500 people and you just said 5 a day, I'm going to start at the A and I'm going to go to Z. I'm going to call the first 5 A's today, the next 5 A's tomorrow, the next 5 A's the next day, and you're going to call and write a note. So that means you got to have an address and a phone number. I'm going to start at A and go to Z. And if you go through all 2,500 people, here's what you guys have to be careful of. You want to get in front of them all right now, because you'd like to have the 250 sales as soon as possible, but you can't create a relationship from a blast anything. So by even the people that are getting your mailers, if you called them and wrote the note, you're going to watch your effective rate of those 500 pieces double or triple. And there's just no way that number can't happen. You will double or triple your results out of that. So by going through the 2,500 people, here's what I know. If you did 5 a day, every day, nonstop, in 1 year, you will have connected 5 people a day, 5 days a week, 25 people a week, 100 a month. I'm saying this, guys, because I had to do it. It's the only way I got to 100 sales, right? It's the only way I know I got there. 5 people a day, 5 days a week, 100 people a month, 1,200 people a year. Mike, it's going to take you 2 years, 2 solid years to talk to all 2,500 of them. But 2 years from now, The first 1,200 people that you did contact and wrote the note, and now you've stayed in touch with them more consistently and you are top of mind, that's already pumping through 50 to 60 deals a year. Because understand that over a year, I'm not top of mind after 3 pieces. I'm top of mind after the whole year, and they're getting something from me every 11 to 12 days. They're Don Hobbs. Anybody familiar with Don Hobbs here at EXP? Yep. And Allison. So Don, back in his marketing days, when I first got into real estate, owned Hobbs and Herder. So Don Hobbs, right? And they did a study where they created a fake realtor that didn't exist. And they targeted a neighborhood and they marketed to that neighborhood 8 weeks. They got something every week for 8 weeks. Don created this 8x8 you may have heard before. Don created it. And at the end of the 8 weeks, they surveyed the neighborhood and they had 56% market share. I think you just told me last week. It was 56% market share that they would call that realtor to list their house, and the realtor doesn't even exist. It's not even a real person. So honestly, guys, all I've done, everybody I talk to and write a note, you're getting 8 touches in 8 weeks. Let me define touches. Touches also means it can't all be email, all text, all phone calls, because you can't keep up with 8 phone calls every week for 8 weeks and you're adding 5 people to that list every single day. You just physically can't manage it. So I have 2 phone calls during the next 8 weeks. This is going to get weirder for you, Mike. And for anybody else who also had the same question, I'm going to call you, connect. You're going to ask me about real estate. I'm going to say, hey, today's call is not about real estate. It's about you. I'll give you a call next week and we'll talk about real estate. Okay, yeah, that'd be great, but it's good. Okay. I'm going to call them again in 4 weeks. So they got the note. Then they got like something in the mail. Then they got an email. Then they got a text, and then the call pops up on my campaign, right? So 4 weeks later, I'm just sitting here going, and all of a sudden their name pops up. I pick up the phone and call them. Somebody I sent the note to 4 weeks ago. Hey, it's Brad. I was just thinking of you today. And they're like, I'm telling you, here's where it's awesome. They're going to say, oh, man, I got your note, Mike. Thank you so much. That was so awesome. And you go, oh, yeah, I'm just glad we connected, man. I don't even talk about real estate here if it doesn't come up, because they're in, and 99% of them aren't moving yet, right? So maybe 1% more might be. Here's the best thing about this, you guys. If they are thinking of moving, they're going to bring up real estate. You don't even need the script to find out if they're not moving. They're going to say, oh, man, it's weird you're calling today. My sister just told me she's got to sell. They're moving to Colorado or whatever. It just happens naturally. So this is like selling without selling, kind of. You're just connecting. And then what's more weird is when it pops up in 8 weeks and you go, dude, I'm calling these people like a bunch. Well, you got to stay top of mind. And when they hear your voice, they stay there. Once they get through the 8 weeks, then I put them on 33 touch. It doesn't even matter if it's 33, 30, 40, but it doesn't need to be 52, and it's got to be more than 12. So your newsletter can take up part of those, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to discount everything bulk because it just becomes white noise, especially if it's email. If you want to find out if your newsletter is doing well, and not yours specifically, Mike, but anybody who's doing that type of thing, if you really want to see if those 500 newsletters are effective, I know something probably tells you the open rate. I want you to call those 500 people and just call them up and go, hey, how's everything going? Going good. It's like, hey, I sent out the newsletter last week. Was there any topic in there that stood out to you, like that you really paid attention to? How many of them would even know they got the newsletter? But my open rate said I had 60% open rate. They probably can't tell you one thing that was in that newsletter, dude. It's scary, right? So this will amplify anything that you're doing. Is if you start with a call, just connect, write the note, and then drip on them with your stuff. So, and there's a lot more behind that. Obviously, I can't get you guys into mastery level on just this call today, but it's a master list so you can be organized. Get every list you have into there before you start this. Just get the names written down. Now I can go back in and start finding their information pretty easily, or using the creeper method through Fast People Search. I'm a professional creeper, man. You better leave your blinds closed or I'm going to know where you live. I mean, Zoom calls and things like that with agents around the country, or when you're networking with agents in your local marketplace, it's real easy to find out their address. They're not going to the office. Don't send them a thank you card to the office. Send it to their home address. Say, man, it was really great co-oping with you. I hope we cross paths again in the future. But I would start that with a phone call first and go, hey, I know this might be weird, but I really enjoyed working with you. I hope we cross paths more. And then I just drop them a note in the mail. It's great crossing paths. Hope we co-op more in the future. I try not to use the word I, me, or my in the note. I try to make the note about them, and it's not branded. Now, I'm a marketing guy. Everything after that note is totally branded. Totally branded. In fact, I'm going to give you guys a web address that you can go to so I can get your information, so I can drip back out on you the pieces that I'm sending out. Only here's what my only caution is, if you get something from me and you're like, for real, I spent an hour listening to this guy, I can tell you whatever you're reading that looks dorky as hell is 100 sales a year, because they're not paying attention to the content you're sending out. Just like that newsletter example, they're not paying attention, guys. All they're doing is you're being branded and you're staying top of mind when they see your name and EXP real estate. They know you're a real estate agent. That's when the phone starts turning around and they start calling you going, hey man, I got this guy wants to offer me investor. He's going to pay cash for my house as is. And I thought I better call you and see if this guy's for real. How many of you want that phone call versus finding out, oh man, bump into him. How you guys doing? Oh, we got totally ripped off by one of these guys. And now you can't help them, right? My daughter's best friend just did it, and they've been on a drip plan since they bought their house. And after it happened, they were like, man, we knew this wasn't right. And my daughter was like, well, I just felt like I couldn't tell them to use you. So now that's one of my topics that goes out. Do not sell to an investor before you talk to me, right? That's now one of my pieces going out to everybody, because they're selling like within a year or two. So let me give you the 4 steps, and then I want to just open it up because I know we're coming up right at the end. Here's the simple 4 steps. So first of all, get your master list and then find addresses and phone numbers. Fill as many in there as you can. If you have an hour today, go on and just start creeping. I do not spend more than 5 minutes to find a phone number and an address. So if you're on a name, you dug around, you did Google, you couldn't find a work address, nothing, no tax records, just go to the next name. I mean, if you have to turn a timer on, but it's really 3 to 5 minutes. And I just keep going through, and you'll have a chunk of enough to get your 5 a day every day if you work on your notebook every day and then start making your calls. And you don't have to talk about real estate, just talk about anything. The Chiefs just won last night. I'm going to call up and go, were you at the game last night? Oh my gosh. Yep, right. But so just that first call is that way. And the first note is no I, me, or my business card, nothing. Everything else after that will be, oh, by the way, that's the only handwritten note I ever write. You're not getting into writing 5 notes a year for every single person in your database. Because if you do that, I'm telling you, you're hating life on that day, aren't you? And it's like, gosh, this takes forever. So it takes forever just to do 5 a day, but that has to happen every single day. So here's your 4 steps. Once you do this, your 4 steps to reconnect. If you really want to set this up to make sure you have the best results, I have a form letter that's called a reconnect letter, and it says exactly what I said. Hey, it's been a while since we connected. I apologize for not keeping in touch. I'm going to give you a call in the next few days just to catch up and see how you're doing. You're going to mail out 5 of those today. And it says on there, P.S., I will call you in the next couple days, because they're going to get it and it's going to pop up on your calendar 5 days later to call them. And then you're going to write the note. And then you're going to start the next plan, which would be 8 touches in 8 weeks for sure. I mean, Don proved that. Don Hobbs proved that. So there's your first 2 steps. It's 4 steps. You don't need the 8 steps until you do the 4 steps, right? And then when it starts coming up that I got to start another plan, then you'll create the 8 steps. And then you just start building it as you go. But it's 5 a day, every day. For the next 5 years, will be 6,000 people, you guys. You'll have 600 opportunities minimum happening. You're just going to capture whatever your system can physically manage, which this also is, you get to grow into it versus having to have a plan to handle 600 transactions today. That would cost $50,000 to $100,000. So let me kind of shut up for a second, see if you guys have any questions. Kathy, I hope this was good stuff, that this is something that your team's just going to love. I mean, because I want you to be excited about your database, man. It's such an easy route to go.
You know, it just as a reminder, like we've got everything we need. We just have to be consistent in the things that we do and have a plan and a system. Like you've said that a few times, the system. It's just continually staying in touch with them on that regular basis and picking up the phone and calling. So many times I think it's easy just to send the newsletter, to send the magazine, to send, the things like that, but not be disciplined to pick up and actually connect. So good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, you guys can handle 5 calls a day. 5 calls a day.
Anybody can handle 5 calls. If they're going to be serious, to me, if agents are going to be serious in real estate, 5 calls a day is absolutely nothing. Like, what does it take you? 30 minutes, max an hour if you really start getting into the conversation with some people. But I mean, that's a bare minimum easy thing to do for each of us. But does anybody have any final questions? I know we're a couple of minutes over.
I've got a couple
Jeff,
of quick comments. I just have a couple of quick comments. Brad, it was excellent. I mean, great stuff. You know what? When I was part of Craig Proctor's coaching program for 9 years, 6 months after I got licensed, and the very first book that he handed every single one of us in that program was the E-Myth. He was so big on systems, and that's how Craig became the -- RE/MAX agent in the world. He had systems. And that's how I became, got in the top 20 in 2.5 years of having my license out of 5,000 agents here in town. I had to create systems. It was the only way it was going to work. So much of my stuff was automated, but I was on the phone like a lot talking to people. The handwritten note that we've all gotten away from because everything is so automated anymore and so much easier. The handwritten note says a ton. I got one recently. I had a phone call with one of our agents in Freedom Team. He's out in California. And about 3 days later, I get a note in the mail, a card in the mail from him, just a quick thank you for my time. And I can't tell you how that hit, like in such a great way, It just doesn't exist anymore. I go to the mailbox and what is it? It's junk. It's junk. It's junk. It's a bill. It's junk, junk, junk. And I sort my mail over the trash can. And that's literally what I do. But all of a sudden, here's this note, a handwritten, just a thank you card. And you open up and like, wow, I was blown away by that. It will say so much to people when they get something like that in the mail. And we've gotten away from it. And I will tell you, bring that back and watch what happens to your business. Craig Proctor's system and all this stuff, so much of it was, oh my gosh. I mean, I had my kids and my wife helping me every night. It was these mailers we're sending out. Like, we're addressing envelopes, we're stamping envelopes, we're doing stuff. It was a daily thing. And we built our business in a huge way on it. There's a lot of things that we've simplified. There you go. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, my letters are right here to go out. It printed the labels out in order, and then there's the letters. Happy, oh, it's 12th anniversary. What? I would have never remembered that. Right? Mm-hmm. How many houses I've sold in the area. But there's like just market stats from our MLS. And then there's like crazy things that you find in a home inspection, just stuff to make them laugh, do whatever. But again, they'll call me when they're ready because I'm top of mind. So here's the best part I can tell you about this. All you need to know is master list, call, and write the note. Here's what I know for a fact after 25 years of teaching this is I still don't understand why not 100% of people aren't doing it. You will double or triple your volume if you screw up the rest of it and you just get the note down, what he was just saying. I'm telling you, you will double or triple your business if you do 5 a day, every day, and you don't stop for the rest of your career. I take the letters with me to conference because I have to. If I skip it, I mean, these little things when I come across, like, there's nothing exciting about this, but they've been getting stuff from me. They probably get a letter about 7 times a year, and it's not bulk. So it's like tied to 12, like none of this stuff is change your clock or any of that stuff because you go on this plan the day I entered you. So it has to be generic stuff that's not really time sensitive. You can still run that other stuff, but I just like chicken scratch a note on there. It's like, I saw you. It was great seeing you at the football game last night. I don't chicken scratch every letter, but I chicken scratch about 5 or 6. I'm telling you, the phone rings like 3 days later from those people. So it's almost like I did make a phone call, but it's because of the phone calls, because of the personal touches and all that stuff buried in there that never really feels like I'm working that hard. So I just love sharing this with agents because I know right now 76% of agents haven't sold a house in 12 months.
Right.
And Gerber thinks he thinks our industry is totally jacked up. He doesn't understand how it could be this bad. And again, I'm an anomaly. He keeps reminding me, Brad, how many one agent, like if you have a team of 10 people, every one of you have 100 sales, not a team of 10 people doing 100 sales. Guys, that's just 10 sales. That's regular agent business. Every team member on your team has 100 sales, including your assistant sitting behind the front desk answering the phone. 100 people that person knows is moving. I bet you could figure out a way to pay her some bonuses or him some bonuses if they get their 100 people in there and you give them permission to call and write notes every day.
So you had said it's best to read the E-Myth first, and then where's the best place for them to get your book with Gerber, the E-Myth Real
E-Myth
Estate?
Real
Is that
Estate Agent, go
on?
to that everyagent100.com. That will give me your information and I'll send you that stuff out along the way. Like, you probably don't need to race out and buy it right now today, right? And if you buy it from Amazon, that's cool. I don't get anything from it. Gerber, I don't even know if Gerber gets anything from it, but that's not the point. You're going to get the pieces of the book coming to you in a chunk down version like this, to where when you do get the book, it's all my systems, right? It's everything. I mean, if you join my team and you're a buyer's agent for me, you're on a drip plan. You're on a drip plan to remind me to pick up the phone and call you 4 times a year and just say, I don't know if I've just called to check in on you, see how you're doing. How's your business? How you feel about it? So it's just like, it's all a machine. So all that stuff, it's kind of the overview in the E-Myth Real Estate Agent. But once you go to everyagent100.com, you're going to really start getting a plan and a reminder of all the stuff we talked about today and what we didn't talk about today.
And Brad, I want to emphasize on that website, like, I mean, you're just offering this. You're not selling anything there. This is just your system, and we can plug into your system. So, guys, just go there. It's a great website. Just go there and get signed up for his stuff. You'll just get his stuff. You'll learn what Brad is doing at a deeper level, and you're doing some great stuff. I mean, so anyway.
Thank you, Brad, so
Really,
much.
really
You
good.
bet. Hey, thanks
Joining
for
us.
inviting me. Like I said, I love sharing it. And man, I just kudos to you guys for staying in on it and listening. It's as simple as it sounded. You're going to make it more difficult than it needs to be. And when that happens, find me, call me, and go, I'm doing it. I'm making it more difficult. I didn't do my 5 today. We'll just talk.
Can you repeat that? It was Every Agent 100 Homes. Is that it?
Every agent and then the number 100.com.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
in
tried
the
to keep
chat.
it
It's in
Brad,
the chat, Mike.
Brad, it's great. David from Tennessee, I speak Vietnamese,
Yeah.
and I'm a team member too. Are you taking team member from different market too, or just your market only? And what city and state are you? Just say in Kansas? Is it Kansas City, or where exactly are you at?
Yeah, so those are great questions. Anytime we talk about putting them in a box, we're going back to bulk, aren't we? I want to pull up a group in a bulk and do something. What I do is I have a campaign for a team member. They join today. I just start the campaign. So the way the campaign looks like is send a handwritten note. 7 days later, send this letter. 7 days later, send this email, right? And it's not cascading. It's like, you joined my team today. Today, I'll write you a note and say, hey, super excited for you to join the team. Looking forward to working with you. 7 days later, I don't even know, but a letter went out to you and it just said, hey, here's some people that you need to know who does what on our team, blah, blah, blah. 7 days later, an email goes out and it goes, hey, check your profiles on these sites and make sure you get your picture uploaded. But see how I'm kind of everything you want them to do is being dripped out. Now, somebody joins the team a month later. They get the note that day, but the agent from 2 months ago is already getting like 2 months down the line letters. So they're personalized for where they are. In fact, built right in there is, congratulations, you've been with us for a year. And I'm writing a handwritten note to the new person just because that's the first thing it said to do. So I've removed everything from bulk anything. Not that I don't do bulk, but I'm putting people, when somebody buys a house and closes today, they get a 10-year follow-up plan because they're going to move in the next 10 years. So that is like, congratulations on your closing. then an email, then whatever. Did you change your utilities? All this stuff's running every 11 days, or on the 10-year plan, it's about every 20, 25 days, something like that. And we do that for 10 years. But that message starts to get pretty strong around 3 to 5 years. Hey, you got things you need fixed around the house. I got a list of contractors. Hey, you're running out of space. I got an organizer, or call me if you need a bigger house, and it's just all in the messaging. And that call will pop up. Then I'll go, gosh, you've been in your house 5 years and everything's going good. Oh yeah, it's all good. It's like, awesome. That's great. We found you a great house, but they're going to be moving in the next 2 years. Right. So those phone calls are what keep it in, and they're so spread out. I never get a pile of like 50 calls to make in one day, because you can't do what I just explained. I mean, some of you got a little excited. You're going to want to put 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 people on this today. Send out 100 notes. You'll kill yourself in 4 weeks when you have to make 100 phone calls again. And then in 8 weeks when you have to make 100 phone calls again. 5 a day, every day. You guys, you said you're here for 5 years. Mike, it's okay. Just let it take 2 years to get to the 2,500. But you're doing that while you're doing your other stuff.
So what website are you using that you're doing it? Is this your website? I'm just signed up for it. Everyagent100.com. Is that something you can market for us, or how does it work?
Yes, it is because you opened up a form where you put in your name and information, right?
Yes, I
It's
did.
And then it takes you, once you submit it, it'll take you to the video, and that'll get you on the plan. So when you filled out that form, it's in Top Producer. I have hundreds of plans running, so it's a big deal for me to change databases, but I'm in Bold Trail now. So I will be recreating these plans in Bold Trail, and understand, because nothing's bulk, I'm going to have both databases probably in essence 10 years. It will take me 10 years. Like as I end a plan here, I will restart them in Bold Trail and carry it over. So it'll take me 10 years to move my database over, because I'm doing it one person at a time.
What would you recommend? Do they have, is the system have another language? Majority of my clients are Vietnamese. So do they have like Vietnamese language or something we can use to mail out and stuff like that? Or how does it work?
I might have missed the question.
Do they have Vietnamese languages instead of English only, like mail out, stuff like that, in another language? Use your system.
I would use ChatGPT. I've been doing that with some stuff. Just take that letter, David. If you just copy that, put it in ChatGPT, and ask it to translate it over, and it'll give you, it'll do that for you. It'll do it with all different languages. It's just a quick
manually mail out, or just something the system do it for you?
So like in Top Producer, I don't even know that they're maintaining Top Producer anymore, but I've got thousands of people on hundreds of plans. So think of it this way: there's a template letter built into it. And I'm just like, so I would take that letter, translate it in ChatGPT, I'd copy that and paste it back in the letter. And that's just my set letter now. And it knows, the system, when it gets down, say, 270 days after they've started this plan on a 10-year plan, it says, go pull that letter and print it to my printer. And then I'm just going to throw it in an envelope. All I do is match the names up. Look, I'm sitting here talking to you about 100 sales a year, 34 years in real estate. This is me doing this, because look, it's like 100 letters a day that are coming out, because everything's spread out over the years. And also all my plans stopped like 7 years ago. So I'm getting people back on them, but it still won't be more than 100, 200 letters a year. You guys won't see that for at least a year. If you do 5 a day every day, but by a year from now, it won't be overwhelming at all. You'll just be cranking it like it's nothing, because you get to build on it. So like, what did I just get? Here we go. I do this about every month. $400 in stamps, $500 in stamps. I get 7 rolls, and I just go till they're gone. I go buy 7 more. So, but you're going to start with 1 roll, and it's going to take you over a month to use this up. And then by next month, you keep doing your 5 a day. Now you only got to buy 2 rolls. So the most I have invested right here is $140 in these letters that are going in the mail. And if you don't like that, then just do 5 pieces in the mail, but don't do 20 emails, because that's just white noise if you skip the note and do all that stuff.
Yep.
So this is my little war room here. It's like just boom, 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 boom. And I'm just a machine. So I get up at 6 a.m. I process my letters. I put them in envelopes. I print my call list and do my to-dos. So my to-dos, I've got all my transactions running. And today it pops up that we just got an offer accepted yesterday. And it says send the lender and the title company a copy of the offer. So I have an assistant that might do that, but if it's sitting here and I'm like just ripping through and I can do it in a minute or less, I just boop, dot loop, forward it over. I mark it done. She never even sees it. Now she can go do more other stuff. So it's just cool. Like it's just in our dashboard, but your database is a gold mine. So you want to protect that.
Good stuff. Quick question, iPhone 2. I don't know who that is. If you can unmute yourself, there you go.
Yes. This is Mark Poe with David Strong team here in Memphis, Tennessee. I just want to say thank you for all you're doing. I'm writing down some notes here. I'm trying to do two things at once. So I'm listening very good. Thanks for the system. So I don't have a system. By listening to you, I'm writing down a system that's reliable to what you already have going. So I really appreciate it. I just want to commend you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, go to everyagent100.com. It'll take you to the 100 sales a year video. I actually walked through this again so you can hear it again. And
yeah, okay.
By all means, rewind it and watch it again, rewind it and watch it again, rewind it and watch it again. And anything that's coming up while you guys are working through it, if you're not getting it from me on an automatic drip, you're probably just ahead of yourself, or you just call me and say, what is that 4-step plan? I'll send it to you. What is that 8x8 plan? I'll send it to you. I'll even put you on the content and send you all the content. Just don't read the content. Because if you read the content, you won't do it. And all I can tell you is I'm selling 100 homes a year. How many people, individuals, do you know selling 100 homes a year? Not teams. If it's a team of 10 people, they should be doing 1,000 sales. They have 1,000 sales a year happening right now in their world. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you.
And Brad, what you shared earlier about, taking 5 months off, and definitely, sorry to hear about all that you went through there with that. But again, having a system, it's like you can rely on the system. And most agents are out of business after a couple months. They're done. They're starting over. And it just does not have to be that way, if we just do it right and build the right system.
Yeah, I'll come back again, you guys. Let them know that this is something that you like, because there's more we can talk about on the internet.
That'd be great. We'd love to have you back.
Keep up and all that stuff. I'd come back anytime. We got this whole new thing called the collaborative rev share and all that other stuff. This is the piece I'd like to bring to people, that you can build a downline of database lovers and join the relationship revolution, and it keeps everybody going,
Definitely. Andrea, the website, everyagent100, the number 100, everyagent100.com. Okay. Tracy, go ahead. You have a quick question?
Yeah. So Brad, thank you so much. Life changed. I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to do it. My question is, if I were to ask where to get those 8 touches and stuff, you're saying that if I go to that website, you're going to lay out how to get those 8 touches and stuff?
Yeah, I'll put you on it. Yeah, I'll put you on the 8. So it's just going to say, hey, here's what I do on my 8 touches in 8 weeks. And you're just going to experience it over the next 8 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. And then, of course, the reminders for the touches, we just put it into Bold Trail. Once we get the client, the one that's conversing with us, that's happy to have that conversation, that's the one we put into our database. And okay, just want to make sure. Okay, thank you. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just remember campaigns and action plans. Whatever Bold Trail is. Like, I'm just now starting to create. I've only been here 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Just moved over, so I'm still going through all that, as well as doing the business too, right?
Okay. Well, welcome to the big fire.
Yeah. Hey, all right,
Brad,
guys, cool.
Brad, one last thing, just before we wrap it up. One last thing, real quick. In about 3 or 4 weeks, the Indianapolis Colts are coming to town. I just got to tell you. So anyway,
they have a special heart here in Kansas City. We remember one little field goal kick with the Colts. Luckily, it was a long time ago, and it was before Mahomes.
Mahomes hasn't beat the Colts yet. I don't know. This will be an interesting season. So,
it'll be good. Yeah, we're everybody's target, so that's making it harder every day.
Yeah, that's my team.
Well, it'll be fun.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much, Brad. So much.
Guys, have a great week. This will be posted up on. It'll be posted on freedomteamsupport.com, on our YouTube channel. It'll be posted in the Facebook group. Go there. It'll be up everywhere within the next couple of days. Okay, if you want to watch it again, get on that website, everyagent100.com. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
And if you haven't already, join the Facebook.
Yeah, part of this will be I think I did. Part of this will be you'll remember where your Kansas City referrals go from, right?
There you go.
Right? Yeah,
Heck
that's
yeah.
what it's really about. All right, guys. Enjoyed
All right.
hanging with you.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Peace.
Brad.
Bye.